happening here, and we invited Kiky Shannon to share about his journey of being a self-published author. The reason also why I invited Kiky is because this is his first book that he self-published, right? And then I think it's very important for the rest of us who haven't published a book to understand uh, the closer the, understand the journey of someone who has just published his first book. You don't want to hear someone who has published his 20th book to share his journey. It will be something too far-fetched for you. Right. So for people to share with us his journey of just publish his first book, he just launched he just has launched last month. Right. I think it will be something that we can learn from and understand from. Right. So I jump to the first question, which is something that I always ask you is
Right.
what made you finally to say you want to write the book? So
Mm,
uh, so yes, the floor is yours.
okay. So a bit of background story earlier for those who haven't got it is that I've been procrastinating in writing a book since more than 15 years now.
All of us
And
procrastinated.
it's like really like it's something a dream, right? It's a childhood dream, but then really okay, I really want to make a to write a book. The first question was that what type of book do I want to write? How do I even start? It seems so overwhelming. Um, and also, what is it that will bring value really for others and for me? And all this while, all different ideas, different preparation, different the way, different scenario that I imagine, was always be just a wishful thinking, right?
Yep.
Putting it aside, I think until somewhere it was September, October last year, as I am part of the Solopreneur Club that is also co-founded by Anthony here. And there was one initiative that was saying, hey guys, why don't, for those who aspire to write a book, why don't we do it together? And we can do it within 30 days to really kickstart of everything. And so I think that was really my push to say, okay, I've been waiting, procrastinating for a long time. I so happened also as I wrote in my book that I did a fitness transformation journey last year, something that was then useful for some of my friends around that they've been asking me about it. Then I said, I think it's the time is right. I have the content, the first content. I can talk about my journey. I can talk about my solopreneur journey. And now there is already someone that is saying, let's do something within this short period of time, something that I know I need. And
Yep.
so that's the part that, okay, I just jumped in, let's do it. And so that was really the moment that finally make
Okay.
it real.
Yes. Right. So I can still remember when I recommended 30 days, a lot of people was like, what 30 days to write a book? Oh my god. Right.
And
So
that's still true. Is, I mean, to be fair, 30 days is not for everyone, right?
yes.
To really finish from A to Z is not necessary for everyone, but
Yeah.
it certainly shouldn't be more than 6 months, 9 months. Now,
Yeah.
the fact that things have changed a lot,
Yeah.
technology has changed a lot, the landscape has changed a lot. It shouldn't be for me waiting for 15 years, right?
Yes.
And so that's really the change. This year is
Yes.
really a change.
And for some of you who might think that when we talk about writing a book in 30 days, you might think that we are using AI. That is absolutely not true. If I use an AI, I will finish in 3 hours. So we are not talking about using AI to write. We are actually really writing a book. Of course, we use AI to help us, right? Churn out certain outlines, certain ideas. I use AI a lot to brainstorm ideas. If you follow my newsletter, you know I'm a heavy believer of AI, but I don't let AI control my life and my content. Right,
Mm.
so this is something we all have to do. Actually. Okay, so the next question is what is your secret to for those who are listening and want to uh, like what is your secret of uh, staying consistent to finish your
Ah,
book? Maybe you tell us how long it takes for you to finish your current book and how many pages.
yeah. So actually, it was the duration was it was slightly more than 4 months. It took me. instead of 30 days. That's what,
Okay.
what I was thinking, right? But it's because as we go inside of the process itself, then there are more things that we actually want to do right, in a sense. And to really, for me at least in particular, I want to learn things. And
Yeah.
so it was a bit of intentional things as well for me to try out on
Yeah.
the different part of it, be it making the illustration, be it understanding about the printing process, talking to the vendor, and so on. So I deliberately choose the longer route with the intention to learn and to understand that. So when it comes to consistency, I think it is important to highlight consistency can means different things for different people.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is some people might think see consistency as if I am able to write 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes a day, then I'm consistent.
Yeah.
Uh, it might not work for everyone, right? This type of consistency. The other type of consistency that might look like is like this, where you might be writing maybe twice a week only, with an intense burst. Instead of
Yes.
30 minutes, you have a focus time. You write maybe up to 2 hours, 3 hours,
Yes.
and then you do it again. Not necessarily always on the same dots, but you do that consistently.
Yeah.
And so I think that is the part which is important when you ask me about the consistency, because for me, I tried the first one, which was the initial one. Write 5 minutes, 10 minutes a day. It didn't work for me. So in terms of the consistency that I have, is I must have a certain cadence. I must have a certain frequency, regular
Yes.
on a regular basis, and that's the part where I actually write. So what I did in terms of the consistency, I blocked out a couple of times around my business, around when serving the clients and so on and so forth, including also on the vacation. I carve out the time,
Yeah.
and then I just did that. I used that as my consistency frame. Let's say
Yeah. To
that's how.
give the rest of you some context, Kiki and I, both of us add up together, we are nearly 100 years old, right? So,
Yes.
so we have our own businesses. Even though I'm running this solopreneur code newsletter, I have three kids. I have three kids. Three. Okay, Kiki has two kids, right? So when we talk about consistency, I tell you my version of my version of consistency is I tell myself whenever I have time after my work, my kids, and I have energy, I will write something. So
Right.
that is my consistency.
Yes. And that is really true.
Right. So I think the key thing is really to set your mind uh,
Yeah.
to do it,
Mm,
right? So like what Katie rightly pointed out, consistency can be every day 5 minutes, every Tuesday, Thursday. Uh, the other action is my consistency is when I have time. Yeah,
yes. Yes.
right. Yeah, I think
And so, and I think that was also something interesting there, because it is something which I personally now really want to convey to people, right? In the book itself, as well as right now in my Substack, which is a link to the book. It's about really embracing the different roles that we have in life,
yeah,
right? It doesn't mean that if we want to write a book, then we abandon everything else, right? It just doesn't make sense.
yeah,
And so instead of saying that, oh, I will be able to write a book only when I have ABC sorted out, if and only if, and so on, we must actually embrace all these different side of us, different roles, because in my opinion and in my experience, it actually helped us much better in expressing the ideas and being able to be empathetic of the person that we are going to talk to.
yes,
I know if I talk to Anthony, I know how busy he is with the business, with the solopreneurship, with a new venture that he was trying, with he was launching like 1 year and plus ago with the three kids. I sit in the same place and Anthony right now working after he actually dropped the kids and before
yeah,
fetching the kids, right? So,
yes.
and
So you can see now I'm in Singapore. I'm in a shopping mall, in a cafe, right? And after this live, I will do some summary and then I'm going to go pick up my kids. Also, this is solopreneur, the real solopreneur life.
And so I think that is something which people should really be encouraged to, in my opinion, really embrace the multiple roles. And let's face it, we are not going to be excelling in every single thing at the same time. but we will be able to excel in one, two, three roles. We have people don't realize every single day as we wake up, we at least have 12 roles, different roles simultaneously. And so you are a citizen, you are a taxpayer, you are a driver, or whatever it is, right?
You
And
can write this
so,
in the next post.
yeah, it's really, really important. And so, coming back to the book side,
Yeah.
consistency,
Yes.
really need to
Continue.
find what works for you.
Mm.
But of course, we should not lie to ourselves. If we say that my consistency is writing 5 minutes every year, then
Yeah,
obviously
that's
that doesn't work, right? It
yeah.
must also
It
be
will take a
within a
very
timeline.
long time. Yeah.
Correct.
So the next question is, what's the hardest part about writing a book? Now that
It
you
was,
achieve this consistency, right? What's the
yeah.
hardest part, and how do you overcome it?
Mm. I
I
think,
remember you briefly talked about the part whereby the hardest part is actually not the writing,
mm,
right? A lot of people always think that writing the book is the hardest part. Then I remember you said something like it's actually not the hardest part.
right. So
Right.
there are
So
actually
yeah,
two things. The first one is let me break it down internally and externally, right? So internally, for me, the or externally first, the writing part is probably, if you go from A to Z, is less than 50%, right? Because outside of the writing, you need to find the idea, you need to structure it, you need to know where do you want to publish it, which region do you want actually to reach out. If you are printing, do you want it to be printed with your own inventory? Do you want it? How do you manage the sales, the marketing, the branding, and everything? So all of these things outside of the actual writing is more than 50% actually. So that is one aspect of things, right? And the second one, which is a bit more personal to me, is the internal part, which is because I'm writing a non-fiction book, I'm writing experience, I'm writing about my observation, my reflection. uh, it was about the imposter syndrome, which I wrote in the book, by the way.
yep,
It's like I'm writing about this one. I make myself vulnerable when I talk about my failure, for example, right? Or even when I talk about my successes, there's always on the back of the mind like, will people take it wrongly?
yep,
Will people think that I'm bragging? Will people think, this guy is so full of himself, or whatever it is, right? And so that part, is it really valuable? Is it really something which people will actually found useful? And so overcoming all of this on the internal side, that has been quite a hard part. Because as you write, and then you start having this question, am I writing good enough? Will it be useful? And
yes,
so on. And
yes,
on top of that, the writing part, like I said, is less than 50%. There are still so many other things,
yep,
which is part. So um, at the end, what I did to overcome the internal and the external part, the internal part, I accept the reality that whatever I was afraid of is actually true, meaning that whatever I write, whatever I wrote, whatever I'm going to write in Substack and so on, I just accept the fact that it will not help everyone. There
yep,
will be always some people that for them it's maybe too easy, maybe it's too basic, maybe it's not relevant. But I truly believe that there will be other people that really can benefit from.
yep,
And so I just accepted it, whatever I was afraid of. I know that actually it's going to happen. Some people will not like what I write, the way I write it, and so on. So I accept that one. And whereas when it comes to the external part, you just need to do it. Either you do it all by yourself, or either you find people that can actually guide and work with you.
yep.
And so
But
there
for
is
you,
different way.
you were having itchy finger. You wanted to learn everything yourself.
That's correct. So it was a deliberate choice on my side. I don't. I would not suggest for everyone, because from the fact that when I first have the manuscript just on the text, then I give to a couple of friends, and the feedbacks that I receive, I incorporate. One of the feedback was to say, "Wow, so many texts. It's like almost 300 pages and all text only. Then what about the graphics and so on, right?"
Yeah, I also commented
And
on that.
then, then I went back into my creative mode. I went to Canva. I tried to distill the message that I want to convey in
Yeah,
text.
yeah,
And then I think about what type of graphic that suit my style, that I would endorse, that I like.
yeah.
And at the end, I spend much time in
Another,
designing things, right? And so
yeah,
that accumulates toward that percentage of not writing actually. but it's part of the whole process.
Yes,
Right.
yes. And of course, I always believe that whatever you produce for the purpose of a book, you can always repurpose it later on
That's right.
into social media posting. Even you can put it inside your Substack posts
That's
as
right.
an illustration. So yeah, well, you spend a huge amount of time doing a lot of other things other than writing. Everything will eventually come together
Yeah.
and actually mean something to you and your audience. So
Yes.
that's
And
something
I
very
think it
important.
was also with you that we I discussed there was a I'm not sure if you still remember a couple of months. I think it was maybe more than 1 year ago. When it comes to creating this type of content, right? There are two approach. I think one
Yes,
whereby people might create something small, and then eventually they actually see, oh, I can just put
come
everything
together.
together, become big.
Yes,
Or the route that I'm taking was actually I took the time to make something bigger first, which is the book, in which right now I can extract, I can then cut in different pieces in
yeah,
a different aspect that is more palatable with the people's attention span, I would say,
yes,
and then created in different Substack posts in different paths. And
yeah,
so I'm still in the journey right now.
yeah. So if you having said this, there are pros and cons in both this
Yeah.
method that Kiki just mentioned. I will write it in my next post next time. So please
Yes.
subscribe. Okay, so I we go back to the book writing, which is the next question. This one is very interesting. I always want to ask you if you had to if you can go back and do one thing differently.
Ah.
Now, on the hindsight, right now you went
Right.
through the whole journey. Right? Now I give you the magic wand. You can go back to any period in that time during this entire period and change one thing. Okay, what would that thing be and why?
Having
Because on the
one thing,
hindsight now you have
yeah.
you went through everything, right? So I'm sure during the whole entire thing there are periods of time where you realize that oh shit I should have done this way. Right.
uh, have a have a sparring partner.
Okay.
I think that it englobes a different aspect, but having a sparring partner in the sense where uh, getting the feedback, getting
Okay.
the direction of what needs to be done.
uh,
Yes, I intentionally want to do things on my own, but it doesn't mean that not I should not. I didn't
it's,
ask you so many things. I didn't make use of you, right?
yeah,
Whereas I
yeah,
should
yeah.
have, right? And so,
Yeah, actually it was during your writing I was like how come Kiki never asked me about anything? He's like is
correct.
he writing or not?
So, and that thing will makes a whole lot difference, right? And so,
Yeah,
obviously, right now with the knowledge and experience that I have I put it back, I would have already been discussing with you way in advance, not about just the writing process itself, but what are the things that is surrounding it. About the
yeah,
Substack, I mean, I launched the Substack just 2 weeks ago. I could have already prepared it back then, for
yeah.
example,
So
right?
for those of you tune in, welcome. We are just talking about Kiki's journey of being a first time book publisher. Um, we go back to just now the one that you asked me, and this one I truly agree that um, perhaps I wasn't also in the mind to remind you that you should start your Substack way
Yes.
before you come up with the management because Substack allows you to do it in public, right? It's a term used in the SaaS world, right? They say do it in public, but you can write in public,
Yes.
right? You can write and then you present ideas to your audience. You get buy-in. People comment. They say this idea is not good. It's not. This one is good. This one is
Mm,
bad, right? And along the way, you are building. You are building a personal brand,
mm,
right? And then that's how I see quite a number of authors in the subsite. I met a lot of authors. Essentially, they are writing in public, right? So as
right.
they are writing their own book, they are sharing ideas. Also, when they launch, there are a line of people ready to
Mm,
buy the book. So I think this is
yes.
something that we could have done
Correct.
much earlier.
Yes, absolutely right. And that's one thing. So that I englobe everything into this sparring partner. It doesn't have to be exactly just one person. It could be different.
Yes.
Or if
Yes.
you have someone or a system that we can rely on,
Mm.
then I mean that makes a whole difference.
Yes, yes. I
Absolutely.
think I think yes. So your second book you can start doing that.
Yes.
All right. So the last question. Now that the book is out,
Yeah.
what is something that is unexpected, right?
Mm.
That has happened.
Okay. Despite all the things that I was
Because you're
preparing
an
or
engineer,
planning,
right?
yes.
I was engineering trade, so we all know engineers. We are very irritating one. We plan everything meticulously down to
Right.
the minute. So before we launch the book, we already envisage the launch itself. And then
Correct.
we plan this
Right.
table must be here, this chair must be here. So I'm an engineer, so I also know that. So what actually happened that is totally beyond your expectation?
Having this live call with you is one of them.
Yes. Okay.
The fact that it actually different things happen, different doors open, different conversation happen, which is aligned to what I wanted to give inspiration, to provide the framework for transformation and so on. But the way I can actually convey to people, I didn't expect it, right? And having a Substack live, I mean, I opened my Substack. I heard about Substack 1 year ago. I open and then do nothing about it. Right? And the fact that then 2 weeks ago I launched it,
Okay, you
and
did something like you subscribe to my newsletter.
yeah, maybe 1 year ago, right? And now the fact that I'm having this conversation and people are joining in, I'm not sure where you are, but I hope that you can get something out of this one. And if this could be the push that you need, I will be very happy that as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. Any other unexpected things? Your book
Um,
launch was very nice.
yeah, so that was unexpected as well. Um, so when I was planning, like what you said, this and after and so on, obviously book launch was one of them, right? And in my mind, the book launch is just a very traditional one. Either I do it in the corner of a bookstore, which typically they might actually be willing to provide. Maybe not for unknown authors, maybe, but I was at least imagining like this. Or maybe have a little bit of catering for people to come to a restaurant or cafe and then celebrate among friends, a small audience. But what happened afterward was that because I was writing fitness transformation as part of a transformation framework that I distilled from my fitness journey, my solopreneur journey. Uh, a friend of mine said, "Why don't you do a book launch in fitness in a gym?" And then I
Your gym.
in it's not my gym, it's where I actually did
Yep.
my transformation. And so this is, by the way, the book that I wrote, this transformation that I was mentioning in the book, I did it within 4 months. And so this part is this whole thing is the gym where I did, right. And so I reached out to them. I came, and this gym is, I mean, this is a global organization. They have presence in 9 countries, I think, and how many locations I don't know. I just put it up there. I said, I met the manager and said, "Hey, I'm Kiky. I was part of here, did the journey with you guys, and I just wrote my book. I'm thinking, what if I do a book launch here? Would that be something that you would support, or is that something that you definitely say a hard no to?" To
Yeah.
my surprise, then the manager say, that's something that we never do. We are open to it, and I think your journey was good. It could be also inspiring and helping other people. Let me discuss about it. And so what I didn't realize was that in my mind, wow, okay, this is great. I'm going to have this book launch together with them. Just choose the date and then it's simple, right? What I didn't think or I didn't realize was that it was a global organization. And so even just to have that event, it need to went through the whole process to the headquarter, which is in London in UK, and then get to make sure that the regional director knows me about my story, about my background, about things, because there is some association to it as well, right?
Yeah.
So this whole process took longer than I expected. I didn't expect that I would then prepare about a fireside chat with the regional manager, inviting people, and at the end, 60 people signed to come, and
yeah,
we had to stop because then say, oh no no, we cannot go more than this because of then
yeah.
the
The
experience will not be
space.
good. So
Yeah,
then I stop at that 60. Afterward, I say I no more space. I will give you a book. And what I didn't expect as well is that during that book launch, then I extend what I've been doing in my own business, which is I took 1% of my revenue and give it for charity. So that's my social promise. And so during this book launch, I was thinking, okay, I will let people know that 1% of it will actually be going to charity. But then I thought to myself, okay, why stop there? And then I come up with the idea of saying, I counted the cost of the food and everything, right? And then I did the calculation and then I said, okay, guys, for you to attend this one, you can actually pay a certain amount, but I don't stop there. You can pay more than that. And whatever you pay above this value, I will put it into the charity. I will give it to charity. And in my mind, it was about maybe 200 something, 240, I think, in my mind. At the end, we did 752 Sing dollar, which is going to go to people in a select student in Indonesia.
yeah.
I come from Indonesia, where people in Singapore might say, oh, but that's not very big amount. It is big in
It's
Indonesia.
a big amount.
You can actually help students, which is actually high potential students
Yeah,
with financial challenges.
yes.
And so these are the kind of thing that I didn't expect is going to have happen, but it
Yeah,
happened.
I know about that because I think more than a decade ago, I donated 400 400 Sing dollar to
Yeah.
a village, and they use the money $400 to open a well.
Yes.
Yeah, and then you see because of that well, they don't have to travel very far to get fresh water stuff like that. So
Exactly.
yeah, it's like to them it's like life changing.
And so like people like yourself, and then I met another person. When we want to donate or at least share, right, what we accomplish. Sometimes, most of the time, people will say, "Oh, I will wait until I'm freaking rich, until I have things, and then I will put some money and then keep," right? And I think, in my opinion, if we are waiting until too long, it's too late already. In my
Yeah,
opinion, if we really want to give, if we have just 100, we want to give 10, or we want to give 5, or we want to give 1, just start now. And as we go along, it will
yeah,
just become bigger, right?
yeah.
And with the understanding that what we thought was small, it could actually be really big for others.
Yes, yes.
And so,
Okay. So the last because we hit
mm,
45 minutes already, I think what's for those of you who join us, 18 of you, Kichi, from your point of view, what encouragement you want to give them if some of them want to write a book and have self-publish a book?
mm.
What encouragement?
I think the first key word is don't wait, don't wait any longer. Just start. Uh, find that sparring partner. Find people that can actually help you. Whether it is a structured way or unstructured way, find those. If it is structured and can help you to really um, be accountable to yourself and to that partner, that's even better. If you cannot have someone that you can exchange ideas, get feedback, get some guidance. So you can start with Anthony here. You can start with me. Following our Substack is a start, and that will really help to make it happen. And once it happens, you will have that momentum, and you can really take it in a different journey. It's not going to be exactly the same journey as ours. It will be your unique journey, and I'm sure for every single person that is writing the book afterward, majority will have a different unexpected event
Yeah,
afterward, which
yeah,
I believe most of it will always be positive. I don't think you write a book and then suddenly
yeah. I
bad
think the
things.
experience gained from writing the book,
Yes.
the skill set that you learn, because while writing a book, I'm sure you learn a very unique set of skills that you
Mm.
force yourself to learn, right?
Yeah.
So
It's a
they,
mini
they'll stay with you.
entrepreneur journey.
They'll stay with you. Right? So for those of you who subscribe to my newsletter, you all will also know that I I never thought about just one way of making money online. In fact, I always focus on helping you guys find your ikigai, right? What you are truly meant to create and to sell. So for Kiky, he finds a certain passion in writing his own book. When we first started, I say that every man has a tiny little dream of writing their own book and publishing their own book. Right. So I think for those of you who are interested to follow his journey or my journey, feel free to subscribe to us. I think that this live, for those who already done halfway or after halfway, this live I'll post it within today or by surely by today, right? And then you can go through. And then I also post some pictures of Kiki's book launch. I think his book launch is a very successful one.
Thank you.
Uh,
Thank you.
but like I always say, for those of you who are writing a book, trust me, if you have been dreaming of having a book launch once, thereafter
Once
you
is
know you
enough.
launch it. Yeah, once
Once
is
is
enough.
enough. Yes. It's for your own memory, for your own
Yeah,
satisfaction, but I think once is enough.
yeah, once is enough. Like now, if I ask Kiki when if you are writing your second book, do you want to book launch? No, 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 no.
If someone want to volunteer, okay, I'm going to organize a book launch all for you. Yes, I will come. Otherwise, once is enough.
Yes, right. So and Kiki, you remember my pet quote is
Yes.
be a best selling author, not a best writing author. Okay, so with that, I'll end the live. It's 45, 40 minutes. Okay, so feel free to subscribe to my newsletter or Kiki's newsletter. Will be in the link somewhere around. Right. So last words for our viewers, Kiki.
So now you can disconnect and then start to think about your own book.
Yeah, think of what to write and think of the outline.
Yes.
Okay, with that, thank you
Continue make an
everybody.
impact, guys.
Yeah, see you in the next live.
Thank you,
Bye.
Anthony. Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.